Tensions reach a breaking point as a routine patrol in international waters turns into a high-stakes confrontation.
Operators detect a high-speed contact closing the distance rapidly, without responding to any standard radio frequencies.
A Venezuelan fighter jet emerges from the haze, pushing its engines to the limit for a provocative maneuver.
Russian-made aircraft demonstrates aggressive intent while encroaching on the airspace surrounding the American naval vessel. Subscribe now to follow this unfolding military drama and stay informed on global security events and naval power.
Every second counts as the crew prepares to defend the ship against a potentially hostile aerial threat today.
Passing at dangerous proximity, and the pilot ignores international safety protocols in an attempt to intimidate the fleet. The sheer force of the flyby shakes the massive hull and tests the nerves of everyone on board. This show of force is a calculated risk that could lead to an accidental and deadly military escalation.
Highly trained technicians track every move as the rules of engagement dictate a measured and precise response.
Returning for another run, the Venezuelan pilot pushes the limits of safety to the absolute breaking point now.
The automatic defense systems are locked on and ready to neutralize any threat that crosses the perimeter.
Amateur video captures the terrifying reality of a modern aerial intercept happening in the middle of the ocean.
Political tensions drive these encounters as nations scramble to assert dominance over critical maritime trade routes here.
History is filled with close calls, where a single pilot's ego almost sparked a major international conflict.
From the cockpit, the pilot sees the massive American destroyer as a target for a daring maneuver. Invisible waves of energy strike the jet's avionics, warning the pilot that his presence is being countered. Losing technological superiority for a moment, and the pilot must rely on raw flying skill to maintain control.
Thousands of miles away, high-ranking officials weigh the consequences of a possible kinetic response to provocation. Bright magnesium light fills the sky as the pilot prepares for a hypothetical counterattack from the ship. Stability and discipline are the hallmarks of the Navy as they endure the aggressive behavior of the jet.
The presence of live ordnance makes this more than just a training exercise, it is a threat. And approaching. Acrobatics at this distance are not just dangerous, and they are a direct violation of maritime safety laws.
Command remains cool under pressure, ensuring that no rash actions are taken during this highly volatile encounter.
On paper, the battle seems lopsided, but the complexity of modern warfare involves many more hidden factors.
Time is running out for the pilot as his fuel gauge drops dangerously low over the ocean.
Just as one threat fades, another emerges from the clouds, creating a new and more complex problem. A coordinated attack profile is mimicked as the two jets scream toward the port side of the vessel. Automation allows the crew to handle multiple threats simultaneously with lethal precision and incredible processing speed.
Reinforcements are on the way as the American military flexes its reach to protect its naval assets.
Supersonic speeds allow the American pilots to reach the scene of the confrontation in a matter of minutes. The arrival of a true aerial adversary changes the dynamic of the encounter, from harassment to survival.
A classic dogfight maneuver secures the advantage for the American pilot without firing a single live shot.
Identify yourself immediately. You are entering restricted airspace.
We are on a legitimate flight path. You are violating international law. Eye contact is made between rivals who are separated by only a few hundred feet of air.
Extreme weather adds another layer of danger to an already precarious situation for all pilots involved today.
Flying at these speeds through a storm requires nerves of steel and perfect control over the aircraft.
The ocean becomes a secondary enemy as the ship fights to maintain its position in the swelling tide.
Mechanical failure is a constant threat when pushing high-performance jets to their absolute operational limits now.
The bravado of the pilot is replaced by fear as he struggles to keep his plane airborne.
Even in conflict, the code of the air dictates that a pilot in distress must be helped.
Pride is put aside when facing the cold reality of a crash into the unforgiving Caribbean waters. An unlikely escort mission begins as the two jets fly together towards safety in the fading light.
Relief washes over the bridge as the immediate threat of a collision or battle finally begins to subside.
Documentation is essential for the diplomatic fallout that will surely follow this dangerous encounter at sea today.
The public watches with bated breath as the story of the close call goes viral across social media.
Experts warn that these games of chicken are becoming more common and more dangerous in disputed territories.
At only 30 feet, the margin for error was non-existent, and a catastrophe was nearly unavoidable here. Peace returns to the surface, but the underlying tensions of the region remain as hot as ever.
Vigilance is a 24-hour job for the men and women serving on the front lines.
The mechanical stress on these airframes is immense during high-speed banking maneuvers near the sea level.
Flying too close to the spray can choke the turbines, leading to an instant loss of power.
Shared experiences of danger create a bond among the crew that is stronger than any external threat.
He walks away from the cockpit, but he will surely face questions from his superiors about today. The search for threats never stops, even when the horizon appears clear to the naked human eye.
A new mystery appears in the dark as the crew remains on high alert for asymmetric threats.
Not everything in these waters is a military threat, but every contact must be identified and cleared.
Aerial support from the ship's own assets provides a closer look at potential dangers in the area.
It carries advanced sensors that can peer through the night and identify targets from miles away now.
Technology strips away the cover of darkness, revealing the busy nature of this strategic maritime corridor tonight.
Replaying the events shows how quickly a peaceful afternoon can turn into a combat readiness exercise today.
Protocol exists for a reason, and ignoring it is the hallmark of an undisciplined and dangerous military.
These incidents are part of a larger pattern of global tension between competing superpowers and their allies. Physical evidence of the flyby remains as a reminder of how close the fighter jet actually came.
Mission accomplished and the pilot returns to the safety of the carrier after a successful intense intercept. The cycle of readiness never ends, as the fleet maintains a constant shield over the international waters.
The mistake of the pilot has resulted in a grounded aircraft and a damaged reputation for him.
Even from the edge of space, the movements of the military are being watched by all sides.
The human factor remains the most important variable in any high-speed encounter in the modern sky.
Training is the only way to ensure that the crew reacts instinctively during a real-life emergency. Actions have consequences, and the pilot's reckless behavior has created a diplomatic nightmare for his home nation.
It stands as a symbol of power and a warning to anyone who would challenge its rightful presence.
Shaking cameras and muffled shouts convey the raw intensity of a jet passing at 500 knots.
Aerodynamic forces could have literally sucked the jet into the ship's mast if the pilot stayed closer.
Life continues beneath the surface, while humans play their dangerous games in the air. and on water.
Formal protests are lodged as the legal battle over the incident begins in the halls of power.
Green lines and symbols dance across the glass as the computer calculates a simulated kill on target.
Every detail of the intercept is analyzed to improve tactics for the next time this inevitably happens.
From missiles to cannons, and the ship is a floating fortress designed to survive the worst of attacks.
The silence of the night is a welcome contrast to the chaotic noise of the earlier afternoon.
Even in the calm moments, the power of the ship is felt in every vibration of the metal.
The ghost of the encounter lingers in the minds of the crew even after the target is gone.
This tradition of aerial brinkmanship has its roots in the long standoff of the previous century's wars. A safe landing marks the end of a flight that will be remembered for all the wrong reasons.
Small comforts are what keep the morale high during long deployments in hostile and lonely parts of ocean.
The board is constantly moving as nations jockey for position in a world that never truly sleeps.
One moment of recklessness can end a career and start a war if the timing is wrong.
Freedom of navigation is a principle they are willing to defend with their lives if it is challenged. Beyond the horizon, the ship is already searching for the next aircraft that might try to approach.
Safety is a layered concept that starts with the smallest bolt and ends with the largest weapon. Behind the technology is a human being who makes the final decision when the pressure is at max.
Looking back, the pilot sees the massive wake of the ship he just tried to scare away today.
Responsibility for his crew's lives is a heavy burden that he carries with quiet and dignified pride. Economic struggles have not stopped the nation from investing heavily in advanced hardware to challenge its neighbors.
The machine is silent, but the events of the day will echo through the halls of government tonight. Messages are sent to the world that provocations will not be tolerated and will be met firmly.
The power of the sea is the only thing that can truly match the power of the ship.
Distinguishing between a fisherman and a fighter jet is the first step in a successful naval defense.
Seeing live weapons on a wing is a sobering reminder of how real these games actually are.
Heat and friction are the byproducts of a pilot trying to make a statement with his plane.
Faith and duty go hand in hand for many who serve in the isolation of the deep sea.
The aerial confrontation may be over, but the surface-level chess match is just beginning to unfold.
A silent standoff between steel giants begins as each side watches the other for any sign of movement.
Intelligence gathering is a constant process that happens at every level of the chain of command today.
Readiness is not just a state of mind, and it is a mechanical reality for the entire fleet.
Understanding the enemy's reach allows the Navy to position its ships outside of easy harassment range now.
Failure to follow orders can lead to social isolation, even within the tight-knit community of pilots. The ship's sting is hidden beneath the deck, ready to be unleashed at a moment's notice here. Light reveals a sea that is still occupied by those who are sworn to protect the peace. The confrontation ends not with a bang, but with a slow and calculated retreat from the area. Adrenaline fades as the routine of life at sea returns to its normal and steady rhythmic pace.
Traditions of the Navy
are the anchor that keeps the crew grounded during times of great stress.
One ship among many, but its presence makes a statement that is heard around the entire world.
A grounded plane is a symbol of a mission that went wrong and a pilot who failed.
Tomorrow is another day, and the sky will always be a place of both beauty and danger.
Modern military hardware is an expensive investment that nations must use with extreme and careful strategic caution. Into the mist, the ship continues its silent watch over the freedom of the world's deep oceans. Symbolism and strength are the core of the mission as they sail through the ever-changing tides.
The encounter is over, but the lesson remains clear for any who would fly too close again.